Hi there, my name is Jim Turner, and I said I would make a podcast once the bee that swarmed the beehive that I got now that was a swarm when they start doing their first orientation flights. Actually, it's been a week, but it started kind of small. So this is kind of, I'll take you back to my bee cave, and this is how it looks now. So you can see over the far, the yellow one over there, yellow hive. You can see how big that navigational flight is getting. Now it's pushing 4 o'clock, and this is the typical time that both these hives go into orientation flight. Atypical. Look how big that orientation flight is. That was my that was the swarm that I caught up in that peach tree in that same box. I was just sitting here, and all of a sudden there was a bunch of bees going to that box. And I heard a noise. I looked up, and the swarm came right in between the peach tree here, leaves, and the grapevine. It came right in between here. They squeezed right through there, and they made a big old ball where I'm sitting. So there you go. So that girl, she started laying eggs so fast it was crazy. And so now it's been about a month and a half since I caught that swarm, and you can see how well they're navigating already. They're already hatching out by the thousands at a time. I mean, in a 24-hour period, and that hive is in full bloom. Yeah, there's a lot of bees in there. I might have to add another box. Yeah, I'm thinking about adding another box here too. This is my main hive, and that is called my peach hive. So right now this one's actually winding down. It was when I came out earlier, this one was really big in the midst of its navigational flights. And now it's calming down. But that one's like in the middle of it. They're taking turns. One goes in a big flight first, and then the other one goes into one. That's funny. Now, do they do that? I don't know. It was just a thought. Those girls are taking a look out. They're outside for the first time of their life. How am I going to find my way back home? I don't have a dog. Yeah, no dog named Toto. I don't wear shoes, so I can't clap my heels. There you go. Nice, healthy hive right there. Now, I did a inspection that the other day. I also did a powder shake, and so when I pulled my panel out after I did my last sugar shake a few days ago, and I inspected that panel really closely, there was hundreds of varroa mites. So I am at a point of where many beekeepers lose their bees. So this is where this is the time when if we don't get that explosion of varroa mites under control in our hive, this is when people actually end up losing their hives, like right now. This is like the critical point, right? In summer. This is June 27th, so 2025. And so when I had my first two years of beekeeping, I had no idea that I had a large infestation of varroa mites in June. And so I went into July with a heavy infestation of varroa mites, and by August, I started seeing clear symptoms of a dying hive. So, and I really didn't get a handle on it and build my bottom screen board until September. And so, come September, Yeah. I'm trying to get this camera set right. So come December, September. Yeah, yeah. That hive was that hive was in big trouble, and so um, it's pretty healthy. I enjoy just coming here and relaxing and just watch them do their thing in my little bee cove. You ever seen a bee go skydiving? Actually, more like what do they call that? Diving into the water to go swimming. It was so interesting to watch. I'm just going to talk about one bee. So I came out here, and she was in the water here, and she looked to me. She looked like she was drowning. So I got a stick. And by the time I got a stick to go get her out, she was going towards the edge, kind of nonchalantly, like no big hurry. And she climbed on a little stick, and she got out. She ruffled her wings a little bit, groomed herself for a few seconds. I'll be doggone if that bee just didn't jump right back in there. I was going like, huh? And then she literally flipped on her back, obviously on purpose, and she was batting her wings under the water. Like the tips of the wings would come out of the water, like watching a bird take a bath. That's what I witnessed. I watched the I watched the bee on purpose, knowingly, wantingly, and willingly take a bath. I had no idea that bees take baths like a bird, right? Maybe she thought she had parasites on her, or maybe she was just, it was hot and that cool water felt really good on her. And yeah, the thing about that though is bees, if they stay in that water too long, they'll actually start to go into mild hypothermia at first, but they're not going to notice it. They're just enjoying the coolness. And if they're in there too long, they'll go into full hypothermia. And I've watched them come out of the water thinking that, okay, that girl is in she's already should not be going. She's in hypothermia right now. So I'll be doggone when they come out, they go right back in. And if I didn't take them out, they would have drowned. They would have died because to them, it feels better in the water than outside of the water. We humans, we experience the same thing. Yeah. I've experienced it many times myself. I would go back in the water. Even though it was colder in the water, it felt warmer. In the meantime, I was going in hypothermia. And but we have a higher level of cognitive reasoning. And I would say, yeah, you know what? I need to get out of this cold water. something, I'm feeling really tired and lazy, so I'd get myself out of the water. And so, but bees, they'll just stay in there until they die of hypothermia. I've seen thousands of them do that. They go in to cool off and they never come out. Yeah, so I kind of monitor them now and then and make sure there's no girls in there just enjoying herself just a little too long. And I'll take a stick and pull her out and put her in front of the hive there in the entrance. And she'll sit there for a long time, getting her body temperature back up because she's in hypothermia. And then once she gets her body temperature back out, many times other bees will come up to her and cuddle her, like put their bodies up against these girls that are in hypothermia, and then eventually that girl comes to and continues going about her business, goes in the hive or walks around for a while, then flies off and go get some pollen or whatever. Interesting stuff, right? Yeah. So this is just my soothing video today, soothing bee video. Just watching nature. You're watching what I watch every day. So it looks like the yellow hive, orange hive is winding down. It was really big when I first came out. It was actually almost as big as the one in front here. They were almost the same size as far as the navigational swarming in front of the hive. Almost the same. So there's a lot of girls being hatched in that new hive. That queen did a good job getting that hive started. Now sometimes when we get a swarm, sometimes that bee is not, that queen, she's just not feeling comfortable about something, or maybe something happened to her in flight, and she may never lay eggs. Yeah, all kinds of different things can happen. Or she's just so timid about her new environment that she may delay laying eggs for weeks. This one took right off. She was laying eggs up in the peach tree. Probably the second or third day she was laying eggs while she was still in that baited nuke in the tree. Because when I transferred that about 7 days later, I noticed a lot of eggs already filling up that new comb that they built. I seen darkened comb all over the place. And so she got busy real quick. It takes a few days when a queen swarms out. It takes a few days for her to shrink her abdomen and prepare her ovary sac to start pumping out the eggs. Typically about 3 days after you get a queen or a swarm, yeah, about 3 days on average before she starts laying. There's a big drone right there on that panel. Oh, he just fell off. Come here, dude. Come on. Up, up. Come here. Come here. Oh, come here. Oh my gosh, really? Come here. And there he is. Say hello to my little friend. Can you fly? Can you fly? Here, take a picture of your face. Here, picture. Come here. I'm going to have to either split that main hive, the one that's closest to you there, or add another brood box. Because that hive right now is packed tight, all the way to the top. So when I took that top off a few days ago to do the sugar shake, that whole top was almost totally packed with bees tight. And all the frames, except for 3 on one end. And so probably by the end of this week, most likely that super will be all done. They'll have all the frames filled out, and then they'll just be packing it with honey. Yep. Okay, the navigation has died down quite a bit on the peach hive over there, the yellow one, the yellow flowered one. It was really big. Isn't that kind of sweet for these girls? They can just go right up. There's their grocery store right there. They're all packed up in those blackberry flowers. Right? So I've got I'll just take you for a little tour here. So yeah, they're all up in these flowers here. And so they've got these flowers. These are mostly, well, they're still blooming. So these blackberries are blooming there. These are going to turn into big, huge balls, like really big. Each one of these is going to have a big ball, and they just love those. I can go there and see like 20 bees in one of those big balls. So this is what they have to eat. All these are blackberries, and so all of them, looks like the flowering is starting to wind down. So I got, this goes all the way back here. I had some back here, some there. And they're doing an excellent job in pollinating all those flowers, so I should get pretty big, I'm hoping to get pretty big blackberries this year. Last year they didn't do, it's like they weren't interested in these flowers last year. They were getting their stuff from somewhere else. But this year they're all up in these blackberries. Maybe because now I have 2 hives and there's less resources, so they're going to go to something that maybe they deem as less desirable. And because there's also some what it's called, bell flowers. I can't think of it in a second. They're flowers that are in my walkway in the front, going towards my front door. They're big, huge flowers that, oh, I'm trying to think of the name. Oh, trumpet vines. So trumpet flowers. So they're big bells. Their flowers are really big, and they have this cone, look like a bell. Hence, I guess, bell. Yeah. So trumpet vine. So I'd go in there. I can see 3 or 4 bees in just one of those big bell flowers, and the pollen in there is orange. So they come back with all this dark orange on their legs. Yeah, trumpet vine. Yeah, I forgot what that one is. I got a bunch of those growing wild. I just give them water now and then to keep them alive. I think I have like about 20 different pollinating bees, like different species. So I think there's something like 1,300 and something different native bees in Oregon that are just native. They're not honeybees, they're just native bees. And there's even a fly that looks like a bee, but that fly is a pollinator. I mean, I got a close look up at it and I thought, well, that looks just like a bee. But then I saw its head and I realized, oh, well, that's obviously a fly. And so there's a lot of, but I'm not sure if that one falls into the category of bees. It had the stripes, you know, like a bee, and kind of a wing structure like a bee, but the head of a fly. And so I've got all these thousands of other pollinators that are competing with all these flowers that I have around here for the pollen and nectar. So it's making my girls have to work that much harder to get what they need from all the flowers that I have, because they have so much competition. Yeah, I've got all those are raspberries. I got 2 long rows of raspberries over there, so they're always up in there. So when I'm going along there picking my raspberries, yeah, the bees are they're all like bouncing off me, and you know, as I'm picking berries and stuff, you know, because I got to pick my berries, and the bees got to feed. So they're getting the food that they need, and I'm getting the food that I need from the raspberry plants. And yeah, pretty cool, man. Pretty cool stuff. So these over here, these are mints. Got like about 5 different species of mints over there. And so what's going to happen is those are all, oh, they're already starting to flower. So those are all going to start flowering, and so the bees will be all up in that. They already took care of all the blueberry flowers. These are blueberry plants back in here. Oh, there's a bunch of blueberries ripe. I'll be getting those tonight. And so they've got a lot of food that they can get off just my property. Because all these flowers are opening every day all throughout the day. So, and they're always going back and rechecking. Yeah, it's like a bee I'll watch a bee land on one flower that's in front of me right there, and sometimes seconds later, another bee comes to the same flower. So every flower is getting checked and then checked again and rechecked and repollinated and fully pollinated. And the thing about pollination is you really need quite a few visits from a pollinator to fully pollinate a flower, including my strawberry plants. So when my strawberries are small, it's because they haven't been properly pollinated, if at all. And so these bees here, honeybees don't seem to really favor the strawberry plants. I mean, I can take a little paintbrush and go and pollinate all the flowers on my strawberries, but dang man, I got thousands of strawberry plants. I'm just not. Homie ain't gonna do that. No. I'll just pick the strawberries that I got. You can see how they're all going up in the air there. Yeah. The navigation has stopped. Gosh, that was so big a while ago. It started right about 3:30. See what time we got here. Right now we got 4:24. So it probably started about 3:50 or so. Oh, let's just say 4 o'clock. And they're all done. Most of these girls you see right there, they're just looking for a way in with their food. It wasn't long ago that I thought that all the bees coming in, I thought that all their food was on their legs. And what I come to find out was they have 11 storage sacks. 11. So they have 2 guts. One is for their food intake, and then kind of on the side of that is called a honey sac. So what they'll do is they'll go to the flowers, get the nectar goes into the honey sac. And that's like it's like a carry-on bag. It's just once the carry-on bag is full, because they also get the water from it, so it starts digesting. So as they're taking in the nectar, once it hits into the walls of that chamber, there's enzymes in there that starts converting it into honey form, like that. And she'll take out like a certain amount of moisture, and that's her. She's drinking water. She's getting fluid, and then what she'll do is, if there's some pollen on that particular flower that's left, she'll collect whatever's there. So she'll fill up her legs a little bit, and then her honey sac. And so when I see a girl coming in with pollen, I'm going to assume most likely she's fully loaded. She decides she's going to load up on pollen and her honey sac. So she's got this leg and that leg, so she's got 2 legs full of pollen. Then she's got the honey sac full of honey, starting to be honey. And then when they're inside the hive, they have 4 sacs. Well, not sacs. They're like flanges, I guess. On either side, they have these strips. And so when they're going in there to make comb, they'll reach down and grab some comb material. It's like, I need this 2x4 over here. I need this 1x6 over here. And they're used it for They use it for construction. And they'll also use that for um, making propolis. So they'll grab a little bit of the comb building material, and they might have some stuff that they've collected from the bark of trees. They can get this stuff from leaves, from the dirt. Just they're imaginative, right? They can come and get it from the wood. They can walk out and scrape the wood a little bit, and they'll use that also to help build their propolis. So when you see bees scraping on the boards, they're grabbing some pieces, some Reese's pieces. When they get done, it actually is a little sweet. And so they'll take that in there and they'll fill up little cracks. Because I had when I popped that top the other day, I saw lots of earwigs. Now, I don't, that's all what I saw. Just, who knows how many was underneath that top cover in the hive. When I watched the video for clarification, I noticed that because I was on the other side, I noticed on this side where I had the camera facing, I saw a number of earwigs falling down from this side. I don't know if they're falling from that side and that side in front of me because I'm looking down at the top of the hive. And so I was taking out earwigs that I can see with, I was just taking a stick and squashing the earwigs that were in there, and they were in there fighting them, literally fighting, rolling around, you know, combat. And I got stung, not knowing that my girls were already agitated intensely by this infestation of earwigs. I didn't know. And that's one of the problems that us beekeepers have. If we remember how it was last time, when I popped this top, it was so cool, they were so docile, and we go in there and we don't know the condition. When we pop that top, we don't know what's under there. That's when we get stung, or worse, right? So that's what happened, right? I popped the top, not knowing that they were doing combat. They were under combat under that lid. Not knowing that they were already stressed and pissed off. So when I popped that top and I started shaking my sugar, the biggest mistake I made is I had this metal thing that I used to, I forgot what it's called, but we used it to break the propolis to open up the hives. What I did is I took that metal thing and I tapped it against the metal of the screen that I was using to shake the powder sugar on the surface. I started tapping that almost with, I don't know, second or two. She came up where I had the hand, where I was holding it, and I was tapping it. She came up and stung me immediately. I saw it on the camera. I went, oh, there she was. Oh, she came right out when I started tapping, looking for a place to sting. I couldn't even see it because it was, you know, I was on my blind side. And I went, oh, I just wouldn't have tapped that doggone thing because it sent vibrations down there. And she was probably already been fighting the earwigs, and she was already angry. Oh, you were going to come in here and irritate too, huh? Well, I'm going to get you. Now, these girls up there, those are not foragers typically. Those are new girls. They are nursing bees, typically. And so those girls that were up there, they ain't never seen me. I'm just another irritant. And so they're going to attack. And so looks like they're going into another navigation. Yeah, sometimes this main hive here, it'll go into 2 or 3 navigations in one day. Like, what is that queen doing in there? It's like, is there 3 queens in there? I don't know. There's 3 boxes. Could 3 boxes equal 3 queens? Not likely. I've heard of 9 queens in one hive, but it was a massive hive that filled the underside cavity of a house. And the hive consumed, it consumed like probably about 1/3 of the underside of that whole house. the hive itself with all the comb, you know. Ooh. And so, yeah, it was a really good experience to never, you know, what I learned though was don't tap on things when you got the hive apart up there. Don't, you know, and not only that, when I popped that lid, I should have, I should have been more prepared of that being a possibility that there might be something up there irritating my bees, and they might be already agitated. I need to be prepared. I need to be prepared for them being already angry before I even get in there. Because they're going to take their anger out on anything. Couldn't beekeeper takes it apart? They don't care. You're just another pest. So, yeah, that was good. That was kind of a good learning experience. So from now on, when I pop this top, I have to assume I don't know. I don't know how angry my bees are because of something they might have been battling. In fact, they had put so much propolis in all the cracks and the crevices up there. I had a hard time getting the lid off. Where before it would just come right up. But because they were battling those earwigs so intensely, 24/7, they decided it was time to close up the doors. Close the window screens, close the doors, you know, and they started sealing everything with propolis. I even had a really hard time getting off just the divider panel. They also propolized the heck out of that, trying to keep the earwigs out. So, yeah, that's something we need to be, us beekeepers, we kind of get laxed, you know, drop our guard down because we get into that routine. Oh, everything's okay. Oh, it's going to be okay again. Okay, it's going to be okay. That's an illusion. that's a habit illusion, right? So it's best to always anticipate the unexpected, right? And so I should have had my full gear on. I should have had my leather gloves on. That's a big fly. I should have been prepared better. I think that it might be even a good idea to get my smoker ready, because there's going to be so many things that are going to be trying to get in this hive at this time of year. So many things want that honey. So many things. And you can get an infestation of something pretty quick in there irritating your bees. And you came out the day before, oh, that's so docile. I just feel like I could reach out and pet them. And you come out the next day, all of a sudden you're running for your life. And they're all around you stinging you. Something irritated the hive. And they're in defense mode and now offensive mode, both. Right? So, yeah. Know thy bees, you know. And so I'm going to be going back in here in about 2 days to do another powdered sugar shake, because I think, I stopped counting. I think there might have been maybe 150 mites on my panel pull that I did the other day. That's a lot. But those are the mites that are not now in that hive. Those mites were taken out of action, right? Whereas before, if I had a solid bottom board, then they would inadvertently fall off. They just climb right on the next bee. Bees are all around them. Oh, I'm gonna climb on this one. I'm a vampire. Gotta suck their blood, right? So, by having the screen board, once that infestation starts to pick up like that, which is normal, just going to keep that dropping going on, drop, instead of reinfest, and then that mite infestation just explodes. It gets to this zenith point, you know, and then it just boom, and then you can lose your hive. Oh, there's a bee. Oh, that's a bumblebee. And so with this screen board, we have a much better chance of controlling those mites without having to even do an alcohol wash, right? Or something like that, where you got to kill hundreds of bees to get an idea. Because even then, if you get the bees in an area where those varroa mites haven't really gotten to that area yet, not yet. Uh, and you get some bees that maybe they don't have any on them in that section where you took the bees. Um, you just and you get zero, but yet over here you got a large infestation of varroa mites, and then in a couple weeks so what I was able to tell on my panel, I was able to tell where the congregation started. So the congregation started on the right. That's where it was thick. So that's where she laid her drones. So the males were laid over here, and then I can just see. Initially, it's certain layer of density of mites, and then as I went over to the other side, I seen thinner and thinner and thinner amount of mites as I went to the other side. And when I got to the other side, I seen none. So they went from the drone section, and they're just moving over, and they're crawling around trying to look for other drone cells that they can get in and feed in. The bees are knocking them off, and they ain't coming back. Right? It's just the way it is. And so, yeah, I'd say about 150 varroa mites I saw. Last time I saw that many was probably about 6 weeks after I started my sugar shakes, and after I put in my observational panel system. Yeah, that's kind of high. But see, I'm getting it early, so this is still June, right? If I didn't know that was happening, I'm thinking, oh, they look really healthy. Oh, everything's good. I don't see any dead. I don't see any problems. They all look healthy. But come end of July or so, oh, there's a lot of dead girls. What's going on? Oh, those don't have any wings. Hey man, it might be too late, right? So, well, I know this boy's been that path and walked it. It was a lonely, dark path I took. It's like, what? And so, there you go. Bottom screen board. Very effective. And for me, it's more effective just to know what's going on. I know for sure what's going on. Then I'll be able to take action now instead of, I wonder if I should do an alcohol shake. Maybe later. Another later comes by. Whereas if you had the screen system set up, I wonder if I should do an alcohol shake. Well, wait a minute. Let me pull this panel out and see if there's actually anything in there before I kill 300 bees. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yeah. So I've never done an alcohol shake because what I chose to do was find another way besides killing 300 bees with these alcohol shakes. Now I know that historically it's actually a good system to do that. It's better to sacrifice 300 bees than it is to sacrifice your whole hive. I get that. But I chose to look for a better way, what I view as a better way. A way that I don't have to kill thousands of bees, because that's what it's going to add up to eventually, to pinpoint a problem. And so I'm on top of the varroa mite problem early. This is June, and I'm on top of it. And last year, no, I was not. I didn't start to get on top of it until it was almost too late. I barely saved this hive. It was September when I got into frantic mode, and so yeah, I just think that that if everybody adopted this process of the bottom screen board and the observational panel pull system, what a wonderful world this would be. Please subscribe, thumbs up, ring the bell, leave a comment, return all my comments, and So when I would do this other sugar shake in a few days and another panel pull, I'll give an update. Now, another thing to know is that on this observational panel, when we go too long, there's so many comb pieces in there. It can be hard to see the varroa mites. Now, if I was to take a nice white clean observational panel, put it in there, pull it out the next day, then I would have a good idea of a 24-hour drop. Now, I've done that many times. I'd slide a new panel in at a certain time, about 24 hours later. Next day, I would pull it out. What do I got? Oh my gosh, I got 200 in a 24-hour period. Oh, this is the dead hive. You know? But what I didn't put together at that time was what's actually going on in the hive. So what's going on in the hive, they were walking around. These varroa mites just walking around and trying to get into their cell, and they get knocked off, and they just climb right back up there. When I put that screen in there, that stopped that. That stopped. And so when I would pull that out the next day, 24 hours later, to see a couple hundred more varroa mites, those would always go back in, back up and reinfect and grow exponentially. And I didn't make the connection at that time that I was taking them out of the equation, which is probably another reason why I saw that dramatic drop over time of varroa mites. I still had them out through the winter. I had mites throughout the winter, but around April, I had zero. And I had zero for 3 months. Might have been in April, maybe the end of March, I had zero, somewhere in there. For 3 months, I seen zero. In fact, I got tired of pulling out, seeing zero. I was like, I'll give you 3 weeks to let me know what's going on. And after 3 weeks, I could hardly get that panel out. There was so much, comb pieces, them building their comb and dropping, this ain't fitting. Throw it off to the side. And so I just stopped pulling my panel. So for 3 weeks, I hadn't seen varroa mites for so long. And then when I put my panel back in after cleaning all that up, still nothing. Still no mites. I said, it's a time of year where those mites are gonna start their cycle. So after that, though, I started pulling it once a week. Like that, I was able to get in there and see what they're doing. Have they finished those other frames here? It's taken them so long to get these frames done. So I was pulling it once a week, also to see what's going on in the hive, see what these gnat hive beetles were doing, how many I was catching on there, seeing if there's any other kind of infestations, things that they're fighting, looking for other bug body parts. And it's so cool to have this observational panel. I don't have to take out my hive and then go in there and try to figure out if there's something going on nefarious, right? That's nefarious. I don't have to do that. And it's so cool to watch the progression of things. By using that panel, I can watch the progression of something. Say if I change something around or move something around for a purpose that I want to do, maybe I do some checkerboarding or I do some other thing, or I take some frames out of honey and I put some new frames in, and I want to monitor and see if they're even starting that or how far along they are. I can pull that panel out and I can see if they're actually working on that or not, or how many they got done. Oh, they finished that frame. Oh yeah, I can see they're just now starting that one. Well, they still got 2 left on the right hand side that I put in there, without having to take the hive apart at all. That's just cool. That's just cool. Same thing over here. So I did the same thing on my swarm that I caught. Their hive is set up even more efficient than this one. So I redesigned my observational panel system. So now I pull it from the back. It's so simple. If you see me do it, you go, someone should charge him for the simplicity of that. He needs to be charged taxes for coming up with that idea. It's so simple. and so effective. So I walked over there and what are they doing? Is there anything going on that I should know about? I just pulled it out. Oh, looks good, and I walked away. I didn't have to take the top off or move the frames around. What are you doing? Is anything bad going on? No. And if they make a queen cell, I can tell if they're making a queen cell if they're going to get ready to swarm. If I have a hunch, I go, you know what? I'm going to check to see if they're making queen cells. I put in a nice white panel, take it out the next day. If there's if there's a spot that's got pieces, and it's just right straight down, that's a queen cell. They're thinking about swarming out. Oh, I got to do a split, or I need to go pinch those off and add another box or whatever, right? Pretty cool. All right, that's it. Please subscribe, thumbs up, ring the bell, and in a couple of days I'll record the next powder shake and record the direction of the bromides, whether they're going up or whether I'm starting to get them under some sense of control. Yeah, so the screen alone didn't do the trick. So the screen's been in there all year, and I've got this varroa mite infection, and it's grown quite a bit. When I first noticed varroa mites, there was 12. A week later, 150. That's how fast they can grow. Isn't that crazy? And so the screen has its limits. It's the sugar shaking. So it's the sugar shaking, right? So the sugar it gets on the wings and the hairs. No spider. I got spiders that constantly build these webs. They're trying to build this dome web around this cove. I'm constantly going around breaking all the webs because they want to trap my bees coming out. So yeah. So it'll hit the hairs on them. That's right. They got fur coats. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like they're hairs, and so like a mammal. It looks like mammal hairs, and so that sugar hits their hairs and it hits their wings and gets moved around, and then the moisture makes it sticky, and then they start the grooming process. And that's what I'm trying to rebuild right now. Right now, by starting my sugar shaking again, I'm trying to reestablish a grooming culture back again, because it's been 3 months, and all these girls are brand new. They ain't never been exposed to this sugar shaking powder thing, right? And the grooming culture has probably dissipated dramatically, right? Just they got lazy about doing it. I don't know. Don't touch me. What are you doing? Well, I don't know anymore. I don't remember. Let's stop it. Okay. And so, I'll keep you up to date what's going on with this process, because I use no chemicals, no acylic acid. I don't use nothing, just the powdered sugar and the bottom screen board. Now, if I get to a point, say mid-July, and my powder sugar shaking, my bottom screen board isn't doing the trick and bringing that population down, then I'll spray some acylic acid in there or something. It's a pretty safe stuff. These girls have never seen that. Not mine. They've never seen anything except for powdered sugar. That's it. And yeah, I might give them a spray if I have to. I'll avoid doing that as long as I can. But if it came down to saving my hive or letting them die, they're gonna get acylic acid all day long. Yeah, yeah. There you go. All right. Have a good day. Bye now. Oh, they've calmed down so much. Look at that. It's like they're both hives. Both hives are at peace. Both hives are all calmed down. No more navigations going on. It's just natural in and out going. So when these girls come in, because about 90% of the girls coming in this hive here, they don't have no pollen on their legs. Maybe higher. I think it's higher than that. Looks like maybe 50 girls. Oh shoot, I don't see any pollen coming in. They're just coming in with a full sack of nectar, honey. Almost all of them, they're just going out and getting nectar. They're trying to store up that super up there with honey. So I'm guessing they probably think they have plenty of pollen already built up. They can only get so much pollen in there stored, and then they say, you know what? Oh, there went a girl. She had pollen. They go, you know what? We've got more than enough pollen to last through the winter. We need to start storing more honey, because that's our real food source. Oh, one just bounced off the back of my head. Glad she didn't have a hammer. And so, yeah, most of it's all honey coming in. Oh, there's a pollen. Yeah, about 1 out of 10 maybe has pollen. Oh, there's one. Yeah, so I don't know, maybe, yeah, about 1 out of 10, maybe 2. All right, bye now. Oh, that one is so quiet over there. Look at that. I think they went to sleep, taking an afternoon nap.